Hello again, welcome back. Regular viewers will have spotted that the last couple of months I've been highlighting stories of accidents that I think it's important that industry remembers. This thought came to me several years ago. I was on the podium. I can't remember if I was chairing this event in the States. And somebody was talking about safety in the transport of dangerous goods by air and mentioned ValuJet and carried on, but then came back because he'd noticed that there seemed to be a lot of faces in the audience who didn't recognize that name, which is a problem because they were all hazmat professionals and ValuJet was a defining incident. To be more specific, this was ValuJet Flight 592 out of Miami International to Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson. It was the 11th of May, 1996. That's 23 years ago. What happened was that this regional jet with 105 passengers and 5 crew also had some COMAT in the hold, company materials. ValuJet property that was being returned from Miami to its maintenance center in Atlanta. And amongst that company material was a cardboard box, fiberboard box I suppose I should say, things we're talking about in North America, with a number of oxygen generators in it. Now these are the things that sit above your seat when you're on a plane, and as you are told every time you get on, in the event of a loss of pressure a mask will fall down. You pull it and put it over your nose and it supplies oxygen. It's the act of pulling it that triggers the oxygen generator. Now it's far from clear really why this mistake happened, but these oxygen generators had been taken out of a ValuJet plane, and at some point they were assumed to be spent and therefore harmless. In fact they weren't, and they should not have been loaded onto the aircraft in the manner that they were. What happened then was that probably during taxiing one or more of these oxygen generators was triggered. It causes an exothermic reaction, and it also gives off oxygen. So you've got heat and oxygen, you're going to get a fire. It appears from the investigation that the plane was on fire before it took off. It wasn't long before the passengers started noticing smoke, and then the floor of the cabin actually on fire. There were some explosions heard which were taken to be aircraft tires in the hold that exploded in the fire. The crew began to lose control. They radioed to return to Miami, but lost control to such an extent that they couldn't actually get back. In the end, the aircraft was completely out of control. By then, probably most of the people on board were dead or knocked out by chemical fumes from the fire, and it nosedived into the Everglades. There was very little of the plane or the passengers and crew were ever found. As you know, in the Everglades there's a lot of alligators, and they got there a lot quicker than the responders. And as I've said before with some of the other incidents we've talked about, there's plenty of information about this available on the internet. You can even listen, if you have a strong stomach, to the audio recording from the cockpit, in which you can hear screams from the cabin behind. And it's important that anybody involved in the transport of dangerous goods by air especially remembers ValuJet. You won't see the name anymore because it changed names then went bust, but look it up and let's not forget that one. But I'm going to follow up on this next week with some other observations about incidents. So do come back and subscribe to the HCB channel. Should be a button down there somewhere. See you soon.